Decimals were misplaced. Bugs are still around, but Ebony Maw is back. We're talking about all of that and more on your Marvel Strike Force Weekly News Update. And if you guys are ready for it, Tony Scungili, tell him what to do, brother.
Pay $5 more for Electro because you have an Android.
ValleyFlyin.
Woo! What is up, Valley Maniacs? Welcome to the ValleyFlyin channel and your Marvel Strike Force Weekly News Update. Slow week in Marvel Strike Force, and to talk about all of it is my partner in crime from the dying restaurant industry, Mr. Tony Scungili. How are you doing, my friend?
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Good. Welcome back, my friend. I always have you on when there's very slow news weeks. I mean,
when there's not
a lot to talk about. I mean, this game, there's so little to talk about. There's nothing good to talk about. There's nothing bad to talk about. Nothing goes on in this game. That is why I love talking about it, because we always have to be so creative to find out what to talk about. How have you been?
Really gets the juices flowing. Really makes you wonder.
Yes,
how we come up with content every week for this.
Yeah, we do, but we managed to muddle through it. But I guess let's start with Orb-Gate. Orb-Gate. Let's talk about it. Boom. And this is a multi-week thing. Started the last few weeks ago. 3,000 orbs given out to players in three time zones apparently, and rollbacks happened this week for those players. Everybody else got compensation. There's two forms of compensation: the players that were directly affected by the correction, or that will be directly affected by the correction when this happened. And they got the compensation package for the time invested, as well as the inconvenience, and for everybody else that did not get those 3,000 orbs into their inventory, that it got a different form of compensation. What was your reaction initially when you first saw this blog post come out?
I don't know. I read it and I was like, great, they're gonna try to figure it out. And I thought that the solution they put in was a good solution, or the attempt was a good idea of what to do, but as it turns out, what they said they would do and what they actually did, as always, are very far apart. We can go into that.
Let's talk about. We'll get to the issues with the rollbacks, but let's talk about this compensation. I first of all, did you think they were able to roll back people properly when you first saw this?
No.
Though that is what I was like. I don't know. Hopefully.
I don't even like the use of that word, because a rollback from a developer, they didn't even use it, because the rollback from a developer perspective is like they literally take your account and move it to a previous version, kind of like a save state.
Okay.
And functionally it doesn't matter. It's colloquialism. We use the word to describe kind of what's happening, but really that's not what they were doing, because anything outside of those very few changes, like if you made a purchase or something and they rolled back your account, you wouldn't have that purchase. So like when I hear rollback, I think all right, so server shut off, people are reverted.
The verbiage they used in here was issue. They need to issue a correction. So that is what they took, and I guess that is more accurate. Now I was kind of hopeful when I saw this, because they would do some downtime. They were taking the server down for 2 to 3 hours, and yeah, there's a lot of things, and there was a lot of players wondering what exactly would be rolled back, and I think you might know a little more than I did, but let's talk about this compensation before we get to this. We got a bunch of stuff right here, a lot of orange gear right here, and apparently everybody got this across the board. Some of these numbers were changed, like some of these T4, the war credits, gold frags, the training mats. Some of these were changed based on some of the players that opened these orbs and were able to do some things. I've seen a bunch of screenshots, and it might have had to do with your placement in arena and your placement in the war seasons and stuff like that. The gold rankings. What is that called? The gold 4, gold 3. What?
League tier
rankings in the war. Yeah, so I think it had something to do with that, but pretty good compensation. What did you think of this compensation?
I thought, as with all compensations, it really depends on who you are. You know, like, so I have 2 roommates. One roommate just started playing this game, and for him, this is amazing. You know, like, imagine you just started playing this game a month ago, and this is a whole bunch of stuff you get. I have another roommate who's been playing for about 6 or 7 months. He is, you know, he was like, oh, cool, this is stuff that I can currently use. And then, like, I opened this and was like, you know what I mean? Like, cool stuff. You know, like, it affects different people in different ways. So I think as far as compensation goes, I think it was a good compensation package. I don't quite know if it equates to what the worst or best case scenario could be. Like, people who were getting completely rolled in war or arena over a period of like 3+ days. Yeah, I think it ended up being about it was just a good generic compensation. So I'm not going to complain too much about free stuff. You know. But in my mind, compensation should always be punitive. Like, if you make a mistake, you don't just give out a small amount, because the mistake is not supposed to just be like, hey guys, look, forget about it. It's kind of a promise. Whenever you make a mistake and you give a compensation in any game, the idea is that you're making a promise that we are going to endeavor in the future to do better. Like, you know, I always compare it to like flowers. Like, you make a mistake, and you can give them like 1 rose or a bushel of roses, and all of those things are great, but if you keep making the same mistakes, there's eventually going to come to a point where it doesn't actually matter. So, are we at that point yet in Marvel Strike Force? I mean, it seems like I mean, we're going to talk about more bugs. I mean, not bugs, more miscalculations, not checking work type of things. But my goodness. All right. So the maintenance went down. Everybody got this because of the maintenance, and apparently a lot of the players that got their accounts rolled back got things rolled back way too much. Extra gear that they had previously on characters was missing. Some character shards were missing from some accounts. What are you hearing about this now? Apparently they did another rollback after that and tried to fix some things, but even that wasn't correct. So what is the latest status that you're hearing on your end? So I have been obtaining data literally since they announced this from people in both Japan and Australia. I've been talking with them all the time. I've gotten videos. I've actually asked for something very simple, and I'm not going to mention any names of players because I don't want anything to happen. But I've said, hey, do me a favor, record everything you have right now before the rollback, the first, event. Oh, okay. So you got video proof. Nice. And I have video of what happened after the first attempt. And then I have a third video, and I'm working on that video right now to put live. So tune in for that, guys. And then I have the third one, and this is what I've seen. Now, I know it's affected different people different ways. Some people were affected correctly. Most people were not. But on 2 specific accounts, what I've seen is them not remove anything of substance. So what I've seen the most of is extra gear that was accrued was removed. Like an amount of gear pieces were removed. But if you had completed a piece or put it on, it was probably safe, except for a very few handful of characters. I also saw a lot of people with characters that weren't gear tier 13 or 14, like didn't use any orange gear on these characters, reverted all the way down to like level 1. Oh. And gear tier 2. All right, so obviously not a manual rollback with mistakes that massive. I think it might have been a pseudo attempt to be like, let's write a file and run the script, and they're just not good at programming, clearly. So I find that baffling. Does this make such a statement at this point? Yeah. But, that's kind of the issue is, and I knew this from the get-go, I knew when they were going to do this kind of thing, the data is easy. It's easy to obtain and find the data. It's data manipulation that's a nightmare, especially when you come into a service that's not prepared for this. Like, at no point in time did they probably have a contingency for what happens if 10,000 players have to have their accounts removed. They, even remember going all the way back to... what was it, Orb-Gate or something where... Oh my goodness, how many gates do we have in this game at this point? My goodness. You can have as many gates. We got Electro-Gate we're going to talk about in just a little bit, guys. Yeah. New gate. By the time this video is over, there will be a new gate. I promise you.
What are you hearing about players that do have this kind of evidence submitting tickets to customer service? Are you hearing that they're getting their accounts to the proper level, or is everybody in that time just kind of out of luck? How is it being treated at this point?
I don't have any real solid information. I know people have opened tickets and they've been given the standard issue support. Cool.
Okay, so
and
support
I know a
hasn't
couple
been
of people who maybe
helpful.
spend a little bit more than the average player, who may be getting direct. So no different than the average support, really.
Got it. I mean, you get better support the more you spend. It's just
what? It's almost like the more money you have, the better people treat you.
weird how things work like that sometimes.
I think and this is complete speculation, I'm fairly certain that they figured that the compensation and time combined would have just been like, people will forget about it. And
we tried our best. We tried our best with the algorithm.
Yeah,
there you go, guys.
We did something.
We tried. Here we go.
Are you
There's
guys
a
happy
solution.
now? As long as you're not still making memes about it, that kind of thing.
Would the easier solution just been to give out the orbs to everybody? Just throw it off that way? At least it would have been, I guess it wouldn't have been fair because they would have had a couple of days advantage. But I mean, would that have been a better solution at this point? And it's still giving out this compensation based on when you receive this package? I mean, is it at that
player? I say, yeah, of course, I want more stuff, Yeah. But as having a little bit of understanding of like how this would go, I'm just gonna slightly remind everybody that we don't know what gear tier 15 costs yet. So like, they might just be like, and now it costs 1,000.
Yeah, I mean, things have been data mined, but data mine's always changed.
Don't just introduce that many of a previously scarce resource into an economy and not like have to adapt the economy. So yes, in theory, a whole bunch of people would then be able to bring up their characters. It would be a giant push. But two things people have to remember is, as new things come out, they're going to raise the bar, as we've seen before. When the difference between 13 and 14, they added a whole new set of gear pieces, and even going from 12 to 13, it was its own thing. And then think about any person who may have bought gear at previous points in the past to like accelerate a little bit faster. Now that everyone has caught up, they might feel I don't know if I would, but they might feel a certain ways about like, hey, I spent $50 on a pack of 50 of each of these ability materials, and now every single person got thousands for free. They might feel a ways, and you always want to, well, not you, but game developers that are microtransaction-y or macrotransaction-y really want to avoid pissing off the people that are spending the most money if they can.
All right, first new character Blitz since the Blitz changes. And it was exactly what they said. We got a bunch of shards. We got the mega orbs. This week coming up is the Red Star Orb version of this Baron Zemo Blitz. What is your reaction to how this played out, the first iteration of this?
I think it is a better thing for more people. I think the new Blitz setup is better than the previous one for more players overall, but I think it also is worse for the small contingency of players that either enjoy blitzing or were successful in blitzing and at higher points. I don't think it had the effect against blitzbots that a lot of people believe it would have, because of just how the scaling of points changed. I think, as a matter of fact,
but they can't do it while they sleep. They can't do it while they sleep. That's one of the changes.
Well, yes, but nobody could. So the whole point is now they've set a hard cap to the top of Blitz. So you're not going to see egregious scores anymore. But I do think that you're going to see people still, like at this point, the only difference is you can now Blitzbot 8 times a day. which will still get you more points than someone not blitzing 8 times a day, like in general. I think because the shard separation of like, you know, where you get 3 and 4 stars of characters, but never really more, will probably see an increase in blitz spotting among players who are not very high up, because
you're talking this 4% range, just
4 to 10% and higher, because if you run the numbers on it, you know, coming in up to even 11 to 25 is going to get you a 3-star version of a character over 2. I think it was oh no, it's got to be 4 to 10. I'm sorry. 4 to 10, at least in one of them, is going to get you a 3-star version of a character. And it's
with the milestones, with the milestones, it should get you the
it's 40. It's 45. Assuming it's the same, it'll be 45, 45, and then 42 total shards with all the milestones and everything. So like, I think more people are getting more impact in what they're doing, and that's great. You know, like more people are unlocking the characters even at 3-star. More people are getting a little bit more of a push on characters. One kind of thing I wish they would do is give the top 1 to 100 the rewards for both 1 to 100 and the 1%, because I do feel like the separation of what you get for being top 100 is just not there. The other side,
you don't think they need that couple 250 extra and mega orbs? That's not worth it to blitz all that extra blitz hours.
Yeah, right. Even if it's not ours. Like,
I mean, not 250 mega or 250 mega orb fragments.
Yeah, there's no difference in this game. Fragments, orbs, who knows? No, I think that they could totally do that and make the character shards kind of the standard, and then improve the other rewards.
Mega orbs.
Like, let's look at that. That's half of a mega orb compared to, you know, 42% of a mega orb, and then it's the same number of blitz orbs for completion. Like, get out of here. You don't have to make the character the exclusive reward structure in Blitz if you want this to be more of a fun, casual.
Maybe they just don't want people shooting for top level blitz. You know, if you already got lucky with the red stars, got that 4-star version of the character, there's no real incentive for you to go for these higher blitz ranks. So maybe that is the way they're driving down to scores. Just not giving people incentive for that.
I'd call this a flattening, if that makes sense. Like they didn't buff or nerf anything. They just kind of pushed everything down. So they're still functionally giving out like the same amount of shards overall, but it's just going to different people, and it might have a better impact on some players than others. For me, I always say like the only shard that matters is the one that stars up your character. So functionally, the difference between having a 3-star character or 100 character shards and then 112 character shards is kind of meaningless for the average player, but that might be perfect if you buy an offer. It's weird. I just always felt like Blitz, the best thing they could ever do to Blitz is do that thing they do sometimes where like every time you win a fight, you get a fragment of an orb.
I like that. Yeah, I like when they had those.
That's where you remove this. They've already removed some level of the competition. If you just want Blitz to be a fun game mode, that's the way you'll get people to be like.
I think they need to solve that Blitz botters problem before they do that, because they'll have this huge advantage because they'll be getting all these crazy amount of orbs that they could open.
Maybe it's still RNG dependent. So, you know. Like,
if you're doing too many blitzes, all you get is 50s or 25s.
Even if you don't look at it like that, if you look at it from the perspective of player A, you know, like player A comes in and goes, hey, I want to play this game right now, but there's really not much for me to do. I've done my raids. I'm not in a war. Maybe I'll do a blitz and I might get a Zemo orb, you know, with Zemo orb fragments, and I might be able to get lucky out of that. It's just a very rewarding thing. And I think sometimes people get a little too caught up in the competitive nature of the game and don't remember that there's also a fun aspect to the game that you play probably. And it would probably be more fun for a player to maybe open 1 or 2 extra orbs, even if they're not really pushing for high scores in Blitz, and be like, oh, wow, I got lucky and pulled 80 shards of a character, like that kind of thing.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. All of us talk a lot about, this is a game, it's supposed to be fun. You know, it's you know, don't be too stressed of it. It's the game. But I did want to get your thoughts before we moved on Zemo. very, very good in war is what I'm experiencing. What is your experience with this character? I assume you have him at this time, right? This was a character that you did spend money on to unlock. All right.
Yeah, we got
what are your thoughts on Zemo?
So my initial reaction to Zemo was I was like, oh, he's terrible, because what I didn't know was that Zemo falls under the Sinister guidelines of investment, which is there is a break point in which Zemo is absolutely insane, and that's like 50 to 60k comparatively. Like, and it's kind of crazy because lower powered Zemos, they just aren't like doing the thing you need them to do in certain fights. But once a Zemo gets to 50 and 60k, you start seeing like every time he takes a turn, things get messed up. Yeah. And then even further, I've seen screenshots and like of war victories where it's like a gear tier 14 120k Zemo soloing a 200k Hydra team, you know?
And I'm people like, have that 120k Zemos already, my goodness.
Yeah, so that's kind of one of those things where it's like, so Zemo is a great character in that like situation, but you have to know that ahead of time, as opposed to like Emma, where like the second you, or Symbiote Spider-Man, where like you work on them because you want to, because they'll be stronger, but they're so good. Zemo has a break point, and once he exceeds that break point, he is just absolutely insane.
Got it. And
my Zemo's only 65k, so I don't know about.
You just exceeded the break point. I don't even know where mine is right now. Let me go check it out, because I like mine right now, but the rest of the team is not good. I'm not doing these crazy punch ups. But mine's is right on the cusp. Mine is 49, dude. He's almost there.
What I've seen a lot of people do is add Zemo and like Hydra Grenadier to the symbiotes, and then just chuckle over like certain fights, because not a lot of people probably care about like cross. Actually, as I've seen, sometimes I'll be fighting a strong Hydra team, and then Crossbones will ult and kill them, and then they'll all get death proof again, and I'm like, this is not what I wanted. You know, like, I
don't like. For me, that wouldn't be a good team, because normally the Hydra teams that we face, I'm punching down big time with my symbiotes, and I'm punching down with my Hydra 2.0. So making that into one super team, it would eliminate splitting up two Hydra teams.
No, I was talking about specifically like Mercs. And Coulson. Like that's the separation there. Like that's because like you don't need much on the symbiotes, you know. So it really comes down like I never advocate for splitting teams ever. Like, use the teams that work well together on offense, because they work well together for that reason. Yeah. Don't take a team and make a different team weaker. And that's not advice for every player. There are players at very high levels of investment that they can be a little bit more cutesy with what they do. But like, don't take a character off of a team that works. So like if you're, if your Symbiote Spider-Verse team is winning fights, like don't get cuter with it than you need to, because they're winning fights. But if you do need to make like a slight change or something, that team has actually been pretty funny for like huge punch ups against like 300 or 400k Coulson teams for me, when I just throw them together and just kind of like giggle as every time Zemo takes another turn, like character is just gone.
He's forever. A fun character. He's a fun character.
Yeah, he's fun. He's fun. Like he does one thing and he does it really. Like think Zemo as Namor 2.0. Like Namor came out and we're like, he's a war god, and now he's not as much of a war god as maybe he once was. But that's because war is changing, you know.
Yeah.
But now Zemo is just like that kind of character.
He has some viability outside of that game mode, but yeah.
You see him a lot in PvP, but we're not. Well, PvP, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. All right. On a totally different note, Wakanda Nation update. This event was canceled because of the passing of Chadwick Boseman. Same thing with Chaos Theory. What is your reaction when you saw this? I think some people were like, "What is going on?" when they saw the data mine of this, but the rewards kind of matched up. So what are your thoughts of this when you saw this?
I think it's pretty good. Like I understand the idea, but what they didn't want to do, and this is just a guess, they didn't want to seem like they were trying to profit necessarily off of because people might spend money on a character or during a double drop. And instead
or building into
just,
Wakandans or spending cores to refresh nodes.
They didn't want to, and this is again just a guess or speculation. They didn't want to seem like they were trying to profit off of it. So instead they just gave everybody what fundamentally the rewards would be for completing, I think, the highest level of and we're just like, and here's some character shards. And I think that that's awesome. Like I think that that's a really nice way that a small kind of thing like this can pay tribute to an awesome actor and person.
Yeah, I thought it was really good.
Profiteering off of it.
I mean, I don't message Cerebral a lot, but as soon as I saw this, I was like, this is really good. I like what you guys did here. And then as far as Chaos 3, normally when this event comes around, it's normally a lot more exciting. I'm asking what you spend credits on. I'm all excited. I'll still ask the question. I'm just not as enthusiastic as I normally am. But did you spend any promo credits? And if so, what did you spend it on?
6. I've got my 6-star on Sinister, and then I picked up the 4th star on Emma.
Nice.
Because I only had a 3-star Emma to that point. So that's with the extras I got from this. That was what I kind of powered through on that.
Well, I finished Dark Dimension 3 the first time, the same day, so I had a bunch of these credits. I did Emma up to 4 stars, Maw up to 5, and our girl, the legendary Shuri, got her up to 5 stars because I'm using her a lot in the raids, and it has helped, especially on just first nodes that I use her a lot. PvP milestones returned this week, a little different. There was no draft. What did you think of these matchups without a draft? That was one of the big complaints from the community. Oh, it's taking too long to draft, but I don't think it made the battles better. What did you think of the draftless battles?
That's not a PvP mode. That's a test mode. That's what that is. You know, that's a sandbox mode.
It's like arena with longer load times.
Oh yeah, well that's that we're going to make the assumption, and I know I'm going to regret saying this in the future, that they will patch out all of the bugs that we're seeing in PvP right now.
What? Is it possible for them to patch out all the bugs?
For PvP, yes. Will they? No. But like, we're gonna make the assumption that they're gonna make some changes, like the ability to, speed up how quickly the turns go, because I don't think it should ever take more than maybe 15 seconds to decide what you're doing in a PvP fight. In the fight, yes. In the draft, draft could take a while, but yeah, the fight, I agree. Yeah, the draft. Well, the biggest issue with the draft is like finding your characters, finding your characters. Yeah, that's another. And then like you find the character you want, and then they get drafted, and you're like, never mind. I guess I won't use Taskmaster. All right, but did you think those were more fun? Those battles that we got without the draft? Like I said, like from a PvP perspective, not really. Maybe for some people. But overall, I used it as like a test. Like, hey, how do I fight this fight? How does this work? Against somebody. First match I played, battle crashed. After that, I was like, let's just get through this. I'll put my Black Order, and it was just Black Order versus Black Order versus Black Order every single match. Just like, well, that's something that I did actually appreciate, was the idea that like I could actually use the same character as somebody else, Yes. And that's a really good way of testing out arena teams and testing out a whole bunch of stuff. So it's something that I think a lot of players have been asking for, maybe not necessarily specifically, but was like a way to test, a way to test stuff. And you can't really do it in Blitz or in War. That's live, it's go live time. Like you don't really get that. But at least if you go up against another person, you can kind of, especially if you're talking with that person, you can be like, hey, try this out. I want to see how this team works, or what punch up I can do. So those kind of things are pretty useful in just learning things like timings and when people are going to attack, or whether something does what you think it does, like whether Electro's special will kill Cole Obsidian. That's something I'm looking forward to seeing, Like, yeah, on paper it looks like it will, but yeah, we need to see that real time. Kind of thing I would use that for, yeah. but I like it. I like the idea of it. The fact that it didn't work, that's just standard issue Fox Next. You know, like.
All right, and sad days, my friend. The valuable lessons milestones, unfortunately, have ended. So sad, so sad. I love these milestones. I love the compensation that we got for the bugs for these daily logins for this. This was an awesome event. My goodness. Bunch of orange gear, bunch of mistaken orange gear. This was all around an overall good event for most players, except for those in those 3 time zones. What are your thoughts of this leaving us? Oh my goodness.
Oh, I'm gonna miss it so much. This was the kind of this is what we always talk about. There's always at least one mention when we do a video together of like, just leave it. Like, yeah, cool.
I logged in the other day. I was like, I'm gonna blitz and get these milestones. Oh, damn it, it's gone. No reason to blitz anymore. I'm done.
Like, even if you do it like here, I'll solve this problem for you. The first or second week of the month, pick a tag, any tag. Literally doesn't matter what tag that we've used in the past. You know, maybe for a previous event or something, and be like, this is the new milestone, and it lasts for a week, and everyone's happy, and we'd be like, yeah, I love it. It's the week of this. Like, isn't that a great idea? Wouldn't everybody be happier with that?
No, they got KSD at the beginning of the month, end of the month, end of every month, do something like this. I would love that, and it would make me like looking forward to like, oh, I get the orange gear, I get to play Blitz, I get to play all these modes that I normally I'm like, all right, Blitz, let's get this character. I mean, once in a while I like Blitz, but a lot of it was grinding. It was fun
because like I played the game. Like, again, it comes to the idea of like, as long as I'm doing something and being rewarded for the thing I'm doing, I appreciate it. And I don't think this was a generous event. I think this was a good event. I think you got what you put into it. I think it was very reasonable. And I think that they could totally kind of do this thing as a, like I said, once a week, 1 week every month. Just put this back up, add a random tag to make people like be like, ooh, something new and exciting. Like maybe I get to use these new characters or whatever. Like, unless you're like me and it's just like,
or just make up tags, like they did. They make up what are the rogue agent. They make up all kind of tags. Just make up tag for every month. Yeah, do it. I like it. And you know, and like I said, the rewards aren't crazy over the top, but you don't need to do a lot to get them. It just makes it fun to log in. I like it. It's like another login calendar. And
remember the concept of low quality screen time means like, it doesn't mean like I'm playing a lot. It means I'm playing more than the value I'm getting out of playing.
Yeah. I'm not playing because it's fun. I'm playing because I feel like I have to. That's
make the game to the point where I'm addicted to playing. You know, like make it so
these milestones will make me addicted.
Yeah, right.
I get addicted, and when I do these with other character releases, and like, oh, I got a blitz to get these orbs for this. I think Cyclops had like a milestone thing like this when he was originally released. It was fun. I liked logging in and like, oh, I get a few more points. I get something for it. It's So I like that idea. Every month do it.
And I very rarely will say I think this was like a perfect event. I think they did a great job with it, and I would like to see it happen more frequently.
So would I. Except with the screwing of certain time zones.
Even if they started slow to keep the like pace of getting stuff a little bit like tamped, that'd be fine. But like 4 times a year, that's still a great amount to see this particular event.
All right, I think I like the once a month better, but I would settle for 4 times a year. But
and also I prefer if it was infinite. And everything was
all the time, just normal milestones.
Magic Christmas Land is not real, so we're gonna just live in the reality of they actually did something awesome.
All right. Well, we got another awesome thing. Well, it's not as awesome as Valuable Lessons, but replacing it is this Equinox calendar, and it's purple and orange gear catalyst. It's like 50 of each of them, and then we got an orange war gear update. The war orb, looking like it's getting a little better. So guys, wait till this is fully updated before you open all of your orange war orbs. What are your thoughts of the new? I mean, it's just a way to give out more catalyst. What do you think this could mean? I mean, they're easing up bottlenecks. Does this meaning a new bottleneck is coming, that they're giving us so much orange gear?
So 2 things. 1, yes, of course a new bottleneck is coming. What's wrong with you, Valley? Why would you think not?
Oh, come on. I got to just set you up with some softballs. I got to give you some easy questions here, dude.
And second, I just want to gently remind your viewers that the word update does not mean improvement. Actually, when they say improvement, it also doesn't mean improvement. But while update just means change. So this is the changes that are happening. Whether or not it's better for you, that is up to you to decide, not us. For me, missing out on those war orbs because the side pieces having a chance to give non-catalyst parts was kind of relevant. I think they could have just did that thing they used to do where they put completed pieces of gear in them.
Did they remove? Is this removing them? Or were they not?
No, it says the right pillar is guaranteeing superior catalysts.
What is it? What is it currently? Just any orange piece?
I believe it's that same kind of weird thing where it's like this percentage of getting this thing and this percentage of getting this thing. And again, like all gear is important, you know, like we need a lot of catalyst parts. I think that the change will alleviate some of the stress of, so here, let me just point this out. There's a phrase in left pillar, will guarantee superior gear pieces required for gear tier 14. What a person might read that for is like a mini unique, you know? What I'm reading that is, well, most superior gear pieces are required to bring a character to gear tier 14.
Yeah.
You know, like, so it might be like serum or what's the other like bio piece, the brain thing with the MRI. It might not be.
Oh, so like when we open those bio things from the Ultimate store, the Ultra store, you're expecting some of the mini uniques, but you get all these weird pieces.
Yeah, I think I'm just being
tricky.
Like,
you Fox Deck Scoper, you made it sound so good, but now that we're talking about it a little more, I don't know. I'm not as enthused as I was a couple minutes ago.
That's what I'm saying. Like they might do that, and I could be wrong, and I hope I am.
All right. Well, we got the optimist and the cynic. Hopefully, it's somewhere in the middle, and both of us are happy.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Listen, if it's the same core pool as those ultra orbs, that's fine. You know what I mean? That's okay. But if I start seeing the stuff that like, you know, everything? You might need a hand. Yeah, like if I start seeing what's the tech gear that doesn't matter. It's not spiky balls. It's I
don't remember at the orange level anymore.
Yeah, they're all. It's just mini uniques now. Everything else is whatever.
Oh, and it is time to rejoice. Ebony Maw has returned, ladies and gentlemen. Finally unlocking Ebony Maw. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen, that have added a star to your Ebony Maw. Congratulations. Ebony Maw, how happy are you that this character has returned to the legendary rotation and people can finally unlock him and get stars for him again?
I like Ebony Maw, man. I dig him. I like Squidward. You know what I'm saying? Like he's fun. He's part of my arena team. He's part of some of my raid teams. He's all around. He's a fun character. He was great in Dark Dimension 3 for me. He's probably going to be great in Dark Dimension 4. And I think I'm really interested to see how many people who didn't get him on his first pass picked him up. You know, I suspected for a long time that Ebony Maw was going to be a very easy unlock, even though on paper you'd say, well, you need a legendary to get him. I'm like, yes, but it's also a legendary you are definitely going to be working towards, you know, like Black Bull. So I just wanted, I'm interested to see from my stream and my, you know, my followers, I get like, oh man, I got Maw this time and it was awesome. And it was like, I've been working it and it's super excited. And I'm like, yeah, man, it's gonna be great. You're gonna have a great time. So like, I just want to know, I suspect that Maw was actually one of the easier legendary unlocks that they've ever done. I just think it kind of felt weird because it was the first time they ever needed a legendary to get one. But now that you kind of see the path, like it's like, oh no, you get this amazing legendary and then work on his team and then you get another amazing legendary. It just felt like Maw was kind of that mid, like when you're.
Well, it is an end game, because to get to Black Bolt, you need to get to that Hela node, so it's not very easy to get to Black Bolt, and then you got to wait for his event to come around, and then finally when his event come around, get the mod. So it's not. I would push back on you a little bit, saying it's an easy unlock, but if you already have Black Bolt, it's not one of the worst ones, because all these characters are pretty good that you're having to build up. You know, kind of like for Black Bolt, you're building that as Guardians, and then. Same thing with Doc Ock, but yeah, good character. What and you said you're waiting to hear. Are you hearing any reports so far of a lot of people unlocking him? I know I've seen comments on the videos that people are unlocking, getting more stars. Is it pretty widespread at this point? What you're hearing about the number of people that are unlocking him now? I've
been hearing for months. You know, people are like, I'm working on Black Bolt, like I'm gonna get that mod this pass, and they're coming back and they're saying like, oh yeah, no, I got him, like
nice.
But what I've heard the most, and this is probably, you're gonna maybe say you've heard this too, is that tier 8 challenge, the final fight of the Maw is slaps. Like it is hard.
It's very hard.
You know?
Guys, I put out a video earlier today if you want to see how I did it. So shameless plug there. Thank you for that segue, dude. But yeah, it is pretty hard. And I did it without yo-yo too. So
I do not have a 7-star yo-yo, because I do not have the money to buy a 7-star yo-yo through premium orbs. So I do not have $14,000 to spend on premium orbs today.
All right, so it is time finally. Let's talk about Electro-Gate. Let's read this. We just got an update on this just now, guys. Prices all over the place. I guess. Do you want to do the background before we read the response to this? Because prices are all over the place with this. I've seen people have at least 3 or 4 sets of offers come on their Android phone.
Listen, I was so convinced I was buying Electro that I bought it twice, and then when I buy it on my phone, I get the notification on my phone saying like, hey, you just spent this much money on whatever. And I was like, wait, why did I just drop $60? What did I buy? Like, what happened? I don't know. It was like $31.90.
Wait a minute. Did it show up as 24, and by the time you clicked, it was at 29 already? Because offers were changing from what I'm hearing all over the place.
I know the first offer I went to buy, I clicked on it, the game crashed, and I was like, oh yeah, standard issue game. Like that's not unusual. I did something and the game crashed. Of course, that makes sense. And then it loaded back in after, of course, 30
right
minutes.
At 14%. Right at 14%, it crashed. You gotta reload everything. That's what happened with this, right?
Yeah. And then I went back in. It was like, and then the first thing that happened was the Electro offer popped up again, and I didn't even read it. I was like, yeah, okay, cool, yeah, like it's back, great. Thanks offer pop up for the first time.
Oh, that's why it crashed, so they could update the offers. Yeah. Nice.
And I bought it on my phone, so people saying it happens on BlueStacks, incorrect. It happened on the Galaxy S10 Plus. Like it wasn't. No. And on BlueStacks on my free-to-play account, it was $24.99. So I was like,
what? Right. Well, there's yes, different offers going on iOS, different offers on Android, and yeah, this is not the first time it done it. But there was a lot of question on stream this morning. Is this more A/B testing that's going on, or is this more incompetence, not checking your numbers? And I think we know the answer by now. But this was a Cerebro's response was. This was not intentional. It was a technical issue. Looking at some bad data, we are well aware of screenshots get shared around the community like wildfire. So the implication that this was purposeful isn't correct. You can choose to believe me or not, but it's the truth. I tend to believe him. I tend to believe that it's not A/B testing, but I mean,
I know you want it to, not you, but people want it to be A/B testing, so it's like a nice little ball of like, it legitimately cannot be, for the reason that the deal, like, okay, I mean this, right? If they offered the same thing for $24.99 on iPhone and $29.99 on the Google Play Store, both of those stores would immediately sanction them. That is a rule. You cannot change the price of offers based on the stores you're on.
Okay.
That is a deal that they cut out to keep a like meaningful flat playing field.
Got it.
So it cannot be A/B testing.
All
if
right.
they were to do A/B testing, when they do A/B testing, it's when they offer a specific offer to a smaller group of people or a percentage of people, and they always have to, just in case something like happens, like someone goes like, hey, why did I not get this offer? They've done it before. They always have to make sure that it's a randomized pool of some sort, like they did with the A/B testing for that. They legitimately
not just platform to platform. It has to be random within the platforms or something like that. Is that what you're saying?
If you have a problem with this happening, don't write on Reddit to them. Tell Google Play, if you are Google, tell Google Play, like go to Google and be like, hey, I bought this offer that people on the iPhone got for cheaper, and they will sort this out for you. Don't worry about like Foxnext trying to sort this out. Like that is a big no-no.
This leads to the bigger question here. What is worse? More incompetence on Scopely's end or A/B testing? I don't think it's A/B testing. I agree with you. I agree with what Cerebro says, and there's some serious repercussions if they did it like people were saying. But is it worse that it's incompetence at this point after such a major snafu last week?
Dude, I mean, I don't even think it's fair to say more incompetence. They've already hit the ceiling as far as incompetence is concerned.
They can't go above the ceiling because I feel like they can go a couple of levels above where they are right now.
Yeah. Wait, can you go back to that Cerebro post where he, like, I don't know if you could find it, but anyway.
The one that he said that they're not going to do this anymore?
The one where he's like, we take this very seriously, and then like
here's all his comments right here. Where's that
one?
Oh, this one. Okay, let's read it. Let's read it then. All right, 7 days ago, when we cause a technical issue like this, discussing how to mitigate repeat errors is always part of the conversation. One thing we've done in order to hang up our grip strengtheners to help our fat fingers get in shape. But in all seriousness, we are our own harshest critics in this situation, has spurred us and audit a few things in our process, hopefully to prevent future errors. We're a team that shares the successes and missteps. Let me scroll up a little. I didn't realize it was not on screen there, but that was a week ago after Orb-Gate, and now we got Electro-Gate again.
And there will always be some people saying like, "What did you expect in a week?" I'm like, I didn't expect anything in a week. I expected a company that's been around for 3 years. This game has been around for 3 years. I expect them to have some degree of their stuff together, and I'm using that word because you're a family-friendly stream. Well, you know, some degree of it. And you can't just keep making very simple, very obvious, easy to catch mistakes. And then if you've ever watched South Park, the episode where the BP oil spill, we're sorry. Like, you're not sorry. I thought they were
sorry. They were sorry last week. They're sorry this week.
This is the flowers all over again. Like, here, I'm sorry I cheated on you. Here's flowers. Like, how many flowers is your house going to be full of? You know?
Well, I don't know how long. They're auditing their processes, and hopefully this will prevent future errors with the process that they evaluated last week, and then hopefully they'll reevaluate again this week. But
how does he not copy and paste this on every post?
Yeah, they should. All right. But they do have a solution to this this next gate that we got here.
I don't even get that. I don't understand what it says.
All right, so yesterday the Bright Persona Orb was published at the incorrect price for some Android players. This offer has now been updated to the correct price as was originally intended. So it's supposed to be the $24.99 offer. So that I did see that show up a little earlier on my BlueStacks. It was $29 early this morning, and by noon it was $24. So that was updated. Players that purchased the offer at the incorrect price. This is for you, Tony, right here. Players that purchase the incorrect price will get extra Bright Persona off orb fragments for compensation by the end of this week. These extra Bright Persona orb fragments will be made via an offer to those players that did not have the original mispriced offer as well. We apologize for mistake and our confusion. As someone that purchased the offer, in this, not talking about their whole process and everything, but does this satisfy you for this bug and charging different prices and things like that?
How many Bright Persona orb fragments am I getting?
All right, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, it has to be equal to the extra $5, right? What would that be? Three of them, 4 of them for $5?
Again, I would argue it has to be worth more than that.
It was 8 for 25, right?
It's 16 for, it was 16 for 60. It would normally be 16 for 50. So 3 or 4 would be somewhere. Like if it's 4, I'll be like, cool. You know, like if they gave me 4 extra orbs, I'd be like, cool, whatever, thanks, appreciate it. You know, if it's like 2, I'd be like, go away. You know, like that's
all right. Well, that is the standard you have to meet, Zeeks. Get 4. 4 is what's going to make Tony happy. 4 is fine.
4. And obviously I'll take 40. Like that's, so you feel free to make a mistake 40, on that one too. But you don't have to. And notice they said bright persona.
Oh my goodness. We're getting you're suggesting a bug inception here, Tony. They fixed that. They fixed this. They keep fixing things and you just keep getting a lot of stuff.
I want them to be like, give them what is it? 4 times 2 is 8. Give them 8,000 orb fragments, and they give me 8,000 electro orbs. I'm gonna crack those open so quickly.
But hold on, you got to be careful. They might roll back your entire electro.
Yeah, but if they roll back, if they chose to roll back my account, they would roll back my Nebula and my Nobu. I'd be fine.
Take screenshots. Take screenshots, though, dude. Speaking of Electro, dude, what are your thoughts on this character? Controversy aside, I know we talked about it when we looked at Kid. Obviously, is this a character that you have purchased? You mentioned that. Is this a character that you've extensively tested out extensively? Is this meeting what you saw as far as what you saw on paper of this character?
I'm not going to see anything until I get Doc Ock.
Yeah, okay.
But
fair enough.
She hurts. She does damage, man. Like she hits really hard. I've used her both in and outside of the Sinister 6 team.
Okay.
I haven't used her in War yet because my Sinister 6 team's on defense, so whatever. I was able to get her. I have a 5 red star, but only a 3-star Electro.
Okay.
So I'll have to be waiting for the Blitz to get her 5/5. But she's gear tier 12. She's level 70. I intend on using some gear to bring her probably to 13. Maybe. I don't know because of where her numbers lie and where her stats are. I like her. I've been impressed with her as an individual character. Her damage output is comparable to like Human Torch. But also her hit points are comparable to Human Torch. So think of like what would happen if Human Torch's ult if he survived long enough to do his ult, that's what her ult is doing. Like
her turn one ult instead of her turn 3 ult. Yeah.
Yeah. And because it's a turn 1 giant AoE ult, she works great on both sides of a war and both sides of a fight because that's a great thing to happen on turn 1. It's a giant offense down, piercing damage attack. So I've been impressed by her damage at levels as I've been investing in her, and I can only imagine that's going to get better both as I get her stronger and as I eventually get Doc Ock. That said, people have asked me, should I get her if I'm not getting Doc Ock? Where with Swarm, I said, nah, you'll be fine. Don't worry about it. I think you might regret not having access to Electro, even if you're not getting Doc Ock this pass. Because eventually you will get Doc Ock, but you don't know if 3 months from now Electro will be farmable. And I think you're going to want to have Electro. So my advice would be if you have the now $24.99 before it was $30, to just unlock her, and then, or more importantly, if you have the means to blitz and try to get a 3 or 4-star version of her, pay a little bit attention. She's probably going to be a worthwhile character all around, not
even
just
on that Sinister 16, even without Doc Ock, still holds a lot of value.
I think she's a strictly better character than Green Goblin.
Okay.
And by extension, than Swarm. So even if you get her, I think that team will be more of a, like, think about what Green Goblin does for the team the way it was, and now add what Electro does on turn 1 and turn 2. I think it's pretty much a no-brainer that Electro is really good on that team.
I like that rationale. Yeah, I think a Green Goblin. I think of removing his passive more than anything.
You can put Green Goblin on the symbiotes. They're all Spider-Verse characters. It'll work just the same. His passive is the only thing that really makes a difference on that team anyway.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, I might move him out. Take Drax off
put him
that
with
team.
Put him with Swarm on the symbiotes. Who cares? Like, what's Swarm doing? Nothing.
Well, I need Doc Ock for that first, but I've asked you this the past 2 times you were on the news video, and I think the only thing that's changed since then is you maybe have gotten to play with Swarm and you've gotten to play with Electro. Best version of the Sinister Six, still the same team that you theory drafted a couple weeks ago, or has things changed now you've got to play with these characters?
Well, Electro for Green Goblin, hands down, no questions asked.
Okay.
Again, don't know with Doc Ock, so still speculating on my original idea, which was Mysterio, Rhino,
Doc Ock,
Electro, Doc Ock, and Vulture was my original idea, I believe. That was the original idea for that team. We'll see as more information comes out. But as for Swarm, I've used him on the Sinister Six in Blitz. I've used him on other teams. He works really well with like AIM because AIM doesn't care if he dies.
Yeah.
That's something that's been awesome. Like he'll kill himself because AIM. So the weird thing about AIM is a slow team. Like they're like a diesel engine. Yeah. So like he'll kill himself from his attacks and then Side to Supremo res him and he'll get more charges.
I like that. I like that. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. So that's been a pretty fun
25% chance for that.
Yeah, and he's like a better all-around damage dealer than A Monstrosity because he has AoEs.
But I have a 7-star A Monstrosity. I hate to take him off the team.
It's all right. You could just put him on. Never mind.
All right.
So we just need more AIM characters. We just need more. We need an entire other AIM team like we have Kree.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I'm playing with MODOK in the Marvel's Avengers game, so maybe coming to Marvel Strike Force.
Oh, no.
Sometime, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, speaking of Swarm, I know I ruined that segue by talking about MODOK, but speaking of Swarm, just before we started recording, was added to the Ultimate Orb, Basic Orb, Premium Orb, Mega Orb, and Storm has been removed. And I guess the initial thoughts when I said this, I talked to you was, yeah, I guess he didn't sell very well.
His campaign is still on. Like they were just
no,
like
I guess so not just not selling well. Nobody's spending quarters on his campaign except for me, I guess. Jeez, I'm spending.
You know that meme picture, the picture of the guy holding hands with his girlfriend, but he's turning his head and looking at another chick. Yeah, that's like the girlfriend is Swarm.
Is that Zemo or Electro?
The boyfriend is Zemo, and they're both, and he's staring at Electro's ass. Like that's what's happening. Like he's like. And Swarm is like, what about me? Like,
poor Swarm. It feels like Mantis. It feels like Mantis. Except we didn't know about Minerva before Mantis, but yeah, Swarm just kind of got overlooked, I guess. Poor guy.
Poor Swarm.
Oh my goodness.
I've never seen them disrespect their own character this much.
This is not good for him.
Like, well, they don't like Swarm,
yes,
so we'll put him in Orb.
Nobody wanted to buy Swarm. Jeez.
Wait, this is the best. Imagine you come in like top 100 in a Blitz, right? Like top 17, you're number 17, and you get 1,000 Mega Orb fragments. Or you complete a node in Dark Dimension 3 and you get that Mega Orb, and you open it and it's 50 Swarm. Like you're gonna be like, no!
Hey, you want to hear what's even worse? I got a good red star pull on Swarm, and then I went back and bought the offer a second time. No. Yes, so awesome.
How's your Swarm doing then?
It's okay, but it's still Swarm, you know. Let's talk about some rumors. I know you've been hearing some things. I've been hearing some things from my buddy Drew. First thing I want to start off. This is not on the agenda list. This Orb-Gate. I know you know people on Fox Next. Have you hearing there's any people getting reprimanded for this? Or have you not heard at all? Or you cannot disclose?
I have heard. So I have to say this in a way that makes the most sense because I don't want you to think what I'm saying means something else. You got to be
very careful with your words. I get it.
I'm going to say I have heard that people are not raising their voice too much over this matter. That is what I'll say. Like,
all right. I guess I'll get the encrypted message later. I can't figure it out right now. All right.
I have heard that goldfish memory is in full effect, and they are like, grr. Anyway.
Oh my goodness.
That is what I've heard.
All right. As was kind of expected when people said this.
I think that the leaks were more. I think people were like flipping their heads over the leaks from like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
So the things that generate excitement about the game they're upset about, but things
they
that
were like
cost them
super mad that
potentially
people found out about the characters
exponential
coming
amount
out.
of hours to work and
There's
that is
some pencil pusher.
Right.
I swear, there's some pencil pusher there that's like, that's why Swarm didn't sell because of the leaks. Like, I swear there's some guy saying that. It's like not because he's mediocre at best. No, yeah, it's the leaks that killed Swarm.
It is the leaks. All right, the real rumors. All right, this is what I've heard from Drew this week. He said there's potentially a 4th new character coming in this next update. Also talked about ISO 8. Talked about gear tier 15, so that might shed some light on all this orange gear that is happening. And he said there's another character coming, but the latest he has said about this character, most people won't be getting this character for a while.
No, I know the answer. Am I supposed to say it?
Sure, it's rumors.
Yeah, like the character is being added to the game this month, but he won't be accessible for like another.
Are you excited that he's at least being added to the game?
I am incredibly excited that this character is being added to the game.
You've been waiting for this moment for
I might have been waiting for this particular character for a long time.
Long time. All right.
Yeah, like he's not wrong. Like Drew wasn't wrong. He phrased it perfectly. Like no one's he'll be added into the game.
There might be one or two that get this character right away. There might be 1 or 2. I'm sure.
Oh no, it's gonna take you like months to get to the level cap.
No,
but just in general, like it's gonna take you months to get to the level cap, even if you are spending the money.
Good point. It did take a while to get to that level cap when they raised it. All right. All right.
I don't want to be too much of a jerk because I feel like there's some people that might not know what we're talking about. So like this next patch is supposedly 100% ISO 8s, 100% level cap increase, as well as the introduction of Dark Dimension 4 into the game as you can see it. And as a result of that, because Dark Dimension 4 is in the game, Dr. Doom will be in the game.
Oh yeah, baby.
Does that count as a leak? I feel like that's just speculation and rumor.
It is speculation. I mean, it's kind of you see that setting up. They mentioned in the past. You know, it's going to come either October, November, or December. So it's one of the 3 months that Dark Dimension 4 is getting added. You know, ISO 8 is getting added this month. They talked about in the blog post. It's just a matter of when. We got 3 more months after September. So one of those 3 months. October is a very good guess for a lot of that stuff. So it does make sense that all this stuff is happening.
Yep.
Any other rumors that you're hearing? And I know you know some things. I'm not sure what you're able to discuss or what we have to talk about afterwards. But
we know the characters, right? Is that something we talk about?
I don't know if they've been fully talked about on this show. Yeah, they have last week. Yes.
Okay, just making sure. So we know it's Toxin. I'm sorry, Anti-Venom. I'm sorry. Oops, I said Toxin. Scream, Anti-Venom, and She-Hulk. Yep, that's right.
That is what's been rumored. That's what's been rumored.
That is a good rumor. I think there's a lot more misinformation about She-Hulk than actual information about She-Hulk. But yeah, she is coming out. I think the only
information we have about her is that she is coming to the game. Everything else is just speculation from everybody else.
Yeah.
As far as rumors, that's the only thing. Nothing else has been said about that as far as like rumors. It's just everything else has been fed off of that. This character could be coming to the game.
Yes, she is. They are.
Does that make it not rumors anymore? If Tony says,
I mean, if it depends on if you believe me or not, right? Like, yeah, no, these guys are coming out. Also, fun fact about can I say something about Scream here?
All right,
can I say something about Scream?
Sure.
You're gonna be mad at me?
I know nothing about Scream except I've heard the name.
Oh, okay. So if you say you know nothing, then I can say it because it's fine.
Let's do it.
She has a disrupt. And I believe her special costs 4 energy.
Oh my goodness! Why did we talk about this at the beginning? This is big news. Jeez.
Shh. See, that's a fun leak.
All right,
that's a fun thing.
All right, so if you stick around to the end of this video, you get a little treat because I did not know about this tease in the beginning.
Yeah. What was it? What did I say? It's not speculation. It's a statement of potential fact.
Yes, it is. All right, so yes, I'm glad I asked the question. I know you know things. I'm not sure what you're able to tell or not, so I'm glad I asked. If you don't ask, you don't ever find out. As usual, brother, it is so good to have you on.
Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure talking to you. We always have a bunch of fun, and I don't know how long this after recording conversation is gonna go. It usually lasts for a while, so hopefully you had fun as well. Let everybody know where they can find you, my brother.
Currently, I am in every bar trying to keep them afloat with all of the money I would normally be spending in the game.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's too many customers in that one. You got with you.
No,
you gotta whale out in that bar, dude, just to help keep it alive.
System. They just asked me to put money in the.
Not even a cashier. Nice. All right, where can people find you that want to see your content other than see your extracurricular activities?
Slash Tony Scungili, literally anywhere.
Everywhere. Go. All right. Well, thank you, my friend. Check out some of the links down below. They support the channel, BlueStacks. Get some Valley merch. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. I'm on Twitch every morning, every weekday morning. Give me a Hulk fist bump, Tony, before you go. ValleyFlyin, Tony Scungili, out!